You are standing at the edge of something vast. The world beneath you is a battleground of chaos and noise. There's a storm in your mind, the world constantly pulling at your attention, pushing you to be something you're not. Society screams at you to fit in, to become part of the crowd, to wear the mask they've chosen for you. But the truth is, the only way to rise above it, the only way to find real power, is to reclaim the parts of yourself that you've abandoned. It's time to stop pretending you don't know who you are, the game you've been playing. It's not your game. It's time to take the reins and stop being controlled. Carl Jung, one of the greatest minds of the last century, knew the secret. To become untouchable, you must first confront the darkness within yourself. You must learn to face the part of you that you've spent your whole life running from. There's a reason why we're all addicted to comfort. We're addicted to the idea of peace without struggle, of joy without pain. But deep down, we all know that the greatest growth comes from the hardest moments. Jung understood this intimately. He understood that to find yourself, you must be willing to dive into the abyss. And let me tell you, that abyss is not something to fear. It is the place where all your power is hidden. The darkness you avoid holds the keys to your transformation. There is no light without shadow. There is no strength without struggle. And there is no true freedom without self-awareness. You see, the world is constantly pushing you to be something other than yourself. It encourages you to fit a mold, to take a path that leads to external validation. But in doing so, it strips away your identity. It robs you of your true potential. We have become so conditioned by the noise of the outside world, by the endless opinions and judgments of others, that we've forgotten the one voice that really matters, our own. And in doing so, we've lost touch with the very essence of who we are. Jung called this the persona, the mask we wear to navigate the world. But the problem with the persona is that it's never real. It's an illusion. And the more you feed it, the more you lose yourself. The first piece of advice Jung offers to make you untouchable is simple yet profound. Embrace your shadow. You may not like what you see, but your shadow is part of you. It is not separate from you. It is woven into the very fabric of your being. The shadow represents all the parts of yourself that you have repressed, rejected, and denied. It's the anger, the jealousy, the greed, the parts of you that you're too ashamed to show the world. But here's the truth. The more you try to suppress these parts, the more they control you. They lurk in the background, quietly influencing your thoughts, your actions, and your choices. But when you face them, when you bring them into the light, they lose their power over you. The shadow is not your enemy. It is the untapped reservoir of your strength. When you stop running from it, you stop living in fear of it. The moment you stop denying its existence is the moment you begin to wield your power. And once you confront the darkness within, you gain access to a deeper part of yourself, the true self. The self that exists beyond the personas, the expectations, and the fears. This is the self that is untouchable. This is the self that cannot be shaken by the opinions of others because it knows who it is. Jung's second piece of advice is to reclaim your individuality. You are not meant to be a mere reflection of what others want you to be. You are meant to stand alone, to carve your own path, and to become the person you were always meant to be. Most people live their entire lives as shadows of who they could be, consumed by the expectations and judgments of others. They are afraid of standing out, of being different because they fear rejection. But here's the thing. Rejection is inevitable if you want to live a life of purpose. You cannot please everyone, and trying to will only drain your energy and leave you lost. The key to becoming untouchable is not seeking approval. It's accepting yourself fully, flaws and all. Self-acceptance is power. It is the unwavering belief that you are enough, that you do not need to seek external validation because you already carry within you everything you need. There is a great power in standing alone, in refusing to bend to the will of others. When you are fully aligned with your true self, you become impervious to criticism. You stop caring about what other people think because you know who you are and what you stand for. But this is where the struggle lies. The hardest battle is not against the world, it is against yourself. It's the battle to accept your true self, to stop pretending to be someone you're not, and to start living authentically. The external world is a mirror of your inner state. The way people treat you is often a reflection of how you treat yourself. If you accept your own worth, others will be forced to do the same. If you reject yourself, you will attract rejection. But when you are grounded in your truth, the opinions of others lose their power over you. You become untouchable because you are untouchable to yourself. Next, Jung speaks to the importance of the unconscious mind. Most people live their lives on autopilot, driven by the unconscious patterns and beliefs that were instilled in them from a young age. These unconscious forces shape your reality in ways you cannot see. They influence your thoughts, your behaviors, and your relationships without you even realizing it. But Jung urges you to become conscious of these forces. He encourages you to become aware of the stories you've been telling yourself and the beliefs you've been carrying that no longer serve you. When you start questioning the assumptions you've been living by, you begin to break free from the chains of the unconscious mind. The key to breaking free is awareness. Awareness is the light that illuminates the shadows of the unconscious. It allows you to see the patterns you've been running on, the beliefs that have been holding you back, and the fears that have been driving your decisions. Once you see these things clearly, you have the power to change them. This is where the transformation begins, in the quiet moments of self-reflection, in the spaces where you confront the truth about who you are and who you've been pretending to be. Jung's wisdom is timeless because it speaks to the very core of the human experience. He knew that in order to achieve true freedom, you must be willing to confront the deepest, darkest parts of yourself. And once you do that, you become unstoppable. You become untouchable. The world may throw its challenges, its doubts, and its criticisms at you, but they will have no power over you. You will stand firm in your truth, unshaken and unbroken. In the end, the advice that Jung offers is not easy. It's not for the faint of heart. But if you are willing to do the work, to face the darkness within, to reclaim your individuality, and to become conscious of the unconscious forces at play in your life, you will awaken a power within yourself that is invincible. You will become untouchable, not because the world is easy, but because you are strong enough to face it head on. So ask yourself, are you ready to confront your shadow? Are you ready to let go of the masks you've been wearing and step into the power of your true self? Because once you do, there is nothing that can stand in your way, nothing that can break you, nothing that can touch you. You will be untouchable. The path to becoming untouchable is not linear. It's not a path of simple steps or easy answers. It's a journey that requires immense courage, courage to face the discomfort within, courage to sit in silence with your deepest fears and your greatest doubts. But in this very discomfort lies the key to your power. It is through these trials that you begin to shed the layers of falsehoods you've wrapped around yourself. You cannot become who you are meant to be without first confronting who you've been. What many people fail to realize is that the battles we fight on the outside are nothing compared to the war within. The external world may be loud, chaotic, full of judgment and criticism, but it is the war within your own mind that will ultimately determine your success. The doubts, the insecurities, the fears, these are the true enemies. The world outside may try to break you, but it is only because you have allowed those thoughts to take root inside of you. Jung believed that the real work, the transformative work, begins when you start examining these internal battles. When you stop blaming the world and start looking inward, you unlock the door to freedom. So long as you remain focused on the external, you are trapped in a cycle of helplessness. But when you make the conscious decision to turn inward, you open yourself up to endless possibilities. The key here is integration. Jung often spoke of the importance of integrating all aspects of the self, not just the parts we like, but the parts we've rejected, the light and the shadow, the noble and the flawed. True wholeness comes from embracing all aspects of who you are, not just the ones that fit into the narrative society has given you. To become untouchable, you must learn to own every part of yourself. The victories, the failures, the mistakes, and the triumphs. Every single part of you is important, and every part of you has a role to play in the grand design of your life. Too many people live in denial of their flaws. They reject them, hide them, and pretend they don't exist. But what if I told you that your flaws are not your weaknesses? What if they were the very foundation of your strength? It's when you fully integrate the broken parts, the disowned pieces, that you unlock your true potential. You become like a warrior, forged in fire. You take the things you've been ashamed of and use them as fuel for your transformation. The more you integrate, the more invincible you become. And when you are truly integrated, the world will have no power over you because you will no longer be divided within yourself. The chaos outside becomes irrelevant when you've found peace within. This process is not easy. It requires brutal honesty. You must be willing to look at yourself, to take a deep, unflinching look at the things you've avoided. It's easier to point fingers, to blame the world, to place the responsibility on others. But Jung reminds us that we must take full responsibility for our lives. We cannot change the world until we change ourselves. Once you change how you see yourself, how you feel about yourself, everything around you changes. You can no longer be shaken by external circumstances. Nothing from the outside world can throw you off course because you are grounded in your own truth. Once you begin this journey of self-discovery, you will begin to feel the shift. You'll feel the pressure of the world's expectations lessening. You'll start to notice how much more you can breathe when you stop trying to live for others and start living for yourself. You'll feel the weight of judgment and criticism fade, replaced by an inner confidence that no one can take away. And as you stand taller, more certain in your own identity, you will attract those who resonate with your energy, who see you as you truly are, not as the mask you've been hiding behind. And this leads us to perhaps the most important truth in Jung's philosophy. The only approval you need is your own. When you learn to give yourself permission to be who you truly are, you become impervious to the opinions of others. It's a liberating feeling, one that gives you the freedom to make decisions based on what's best for you, not based on what will make you fit into someone else's idea of success. You stop living for the applause and start living for your own sense of fulfillment. This is where the magic happens. When you stop playing small, when you stop trying to be what everyone else wants you to be, you become a force of nature. You become untouchable. The world will try to distract you, to pull you back into its petty games, but you will no longer be concerned with its fleeting judgments. You will be walking your own path, unshaken, unstoppable. And when you walk with that kind of conviction, with that level of inner power, the universe responds in kind. People will be drawn to you. Opportunities will start appearing, not because you sought them out, but because you've aligned yourself with your true self. You will attract the right energy, the right circumstances, and the right people. This is the power of being authentic. It draws everything you need to you. But this path requires discipline. You cannot achieve true freedom without developing the discipline to stay on the path of self-awareness. It's easy to get lost in the distractions of the world. It's easy to forget the work that lies within. But the power you seek comes from showing up for yourself every single day, from facing the darkness, from looking in the mirror and continuing to walk the path even when it gets difficult. Every time you choose to be true to yourself, you reinforce your power. Every time you choose to act from a place of authenticity, you build your fortress. Every time you confront your shadow, you become stronger. The discipline to be consistent in your inner work is the discipline that will make you untouchable. This is the path to true sovereignty. You will no longer be swayed by the opinions of others, the judgments of the world, or the limitations you once imposed on yourself. You will stand as the master of your own fate, unshaken and unbreakable. This is the power that comes from integrating all parts of yourself, from embracing the darkness as much as the light, and from stepping into your full potential. This is the advice Carl Jung gave us, a blueprint for becoming untouchable. When you understand who you truly are, when you accept every part of yourself, when you stop living for others and start living for you, that is when you become untouchable. Not because the world is kind, but because you have found your inner power. The world may try to break you, but it cannot. It cannot reach you. You are untouchable. And the beauty of this untouchability lies not in an escape from the world, but in your newfound ability to face it, to confront it with calmness, clarity, and confidence. Once you have begun this journey of self-integration, you'll notice how the external chaos no longer disturbs your peace. The trials of life, the moments of hardship, the people who try to undermine you, all of these things no longer have the same power over you. They cannot penetrate the fortress you've built within. Because it is not based on any external validation, it's rooted in your own self-awareness, in your ability to accept and integrate every part of your being, light and dark. This doesn't mean the world will suddenly become a perfect place, nor that you'll be free from challenges. It means you become a force that flows with life's currents, not against them. You stop resisting what comes your way. You stop fighting battles that don't serve you. Instead, you adapt, you learn, and you respond. You are in the driver's seat of your life, no longer allowing anyone or anything to dictate your course. The mastery you achieve through self-knowledge is not about controlling every situation, but rather about mastering your own response to them. In a world full of distractions, opinions, and noise, this inner stillness becomes a rare and powerful gift. People may seek your guidance because they sense this stillness in you. They will come to you not because you have all the answers, but because they see someone who is calm, centered, and unwavering in their beliefs. They will feel drawn to you because in your authenticity, they recognize something that has eluded them in their own lives, a person who is at peace with themselves. But this peace, this untouchable quality, is not a passive state. It is not something that happens by accident. It requires conscious effort. Every moment of stillness you cultivate, every time you choose to respond instead of react, you strengthen your position. You strengthen your ability to remain unshaken in the face of adversity, unfazed by the judgments of others, and undeterred by the obstacles in your way. The journey of becoming untouchable is one of constant growth. There will be moments of doubt, moments where you feel like giving up, and moments when it seems like the weight of the world is too much to bear. But in those moments, the work you've done to integrate your shadow, to confront your fears, and to walk with conviction will carry you through. When you fall, and you will fall, you will rise again, stronger, wiser, and even more untouchable than before. Jung's wisdom is not just a philosophy, it's a way of life. It is a call to action, a call to face the truth about who you are, and to take full ownership of your life. It is a challenge to be fearless in the pursuit of your own self-realization, to never settle for the illusions that society imposes on you, and to reject the comfort of conformity. To walk this path requires immense courage, but it also brings with it a profound reward. the ability to be truly free. And in that freedom, you will find something even more powerful than the approval of others, a deep, unwavering satisfaction that comes from knowing you are living in alignment with your true self. In a world that thrives on superficiality, you will be the one who stands in authenticity, unshakable, untouchable, and real. The world will try to tell you who you should be, but you will know who you are. And that is the power that no one can take away. When you align yourself with your inner truth, when you face your shadow without fear, when you integrate the entirety of who you are, that is when you become invincible. Not because the world becomes easy, but because you've become stronger than anything it can throw your way. You become untouchable because you no longer rely on the outside world for validation. You no longer live in the shadows of others' expectations. You stand tall, rooted in the knowledge that the only truth that matters is the one you find within yourself. This is the power of Carl Jung's advice. It is the power of self-mastery, the power to live as your true self, unapologetically and without compromise. It is the power to look at the world in all its chaos and say, "I am who I am," and that is enough. To become untouchable is to stop asking for permission to live the life you desire. It is to stand firm in your own being, regardless of the noise outside. In the end, being untouchable does not mean being immune to the world's challenges. It means facing them head-on, with the wisdom that only comes from understanding yourself at the deepest level. When you walk through life with the conviction of someone who knows who they are, the world has no choice but to step aside. And that is the freedom that Carl Jung spoke of. The ultimate freedom, the one that comes from within.